Migrant Tribe. Yep, and we're now in episode 9. So, for most of you who are probably wondering still what Migrant Tribe is all about, here in Migrant Tribe, we tell our stories from our journey down under. Okay, so for today, we have a special guest. He's gonna help us out in the personal finance and handling money. That's very important nowadays, especially with the situation we're in. So to introduce our guest, I'd like to call in Jasmine. Please introduce who our guests are for who our guest is tonight.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, and welcome again to Migrant Tribe. So tonight's guest is a very special person, a very special friend, very close confidante, business partner of mine, and I'm very proud of this person. He's a serial entrepreneur. Yeah, nice. Huh? CEO and founder of MLV Accounting, plus many other things that he does that we all enjoy. And then we're very excited to have him tonight. So let's all welcome MLV. He's the man, Michael Venezuela. Woo!
Hello. Hi. So yeah, I'm so glad to be a part of your show of this event, and yeah, it's an honor to be here, and it's a privilege. So there are a lot of people who can talk, but you've chosen me among all the thousands of migrants here in Melbourne. I don't know if I deserve it, but I'll try to be as deserving as I could.
Of course you do. Yes, sir. Go on.
Yeah.
Mike, your being here is not an accident. Actually, we know your reputation. We know a little bit about your story, and we know that after we finish the interview, a lot of migrants can relate and can get something out of it. So to start with, can you tell us what's your story? Why you're here in Victoria or in Australia, and what made you tick while here in Melbourne?
Okay, so my story is everyone has a story to tell, and my story is something that you don't even thought that I will go to Melbourne or outside the Philippines, because we were born like a middle-aged family. I'm born from a political family. My father was the mayor of our town in Pangasinan, being there 20 years. So he's been a mayor and a vice mayor, and I'm the eldest. Now I can say that if I'm not here, I might have been the mayor now. But I chose another path, and it was meant to happen, I think. Um, so I'm an accountant. I'm a CPA. I graduated from Jan, the same with Jan. I graduated from the University of the Philippines in Giliman with a double degree in business administration and accountancy. It's one of the most difficult, course to get in, but I always refer to the Lord why I was able to do it. I'm not that good, but I'm just more more in studious than the others. Maybe if others will read a book once, I read it twice or thrice. I may not be as good as them, but because I know that I'm not as good as them, I double my effort. So that's good. So I graduated from University of the Philippines, and in a long time, 1991. So I am giving away my age.
Too young, eh?
Uh, but I hope I don't look like that my age, yeah. So yeah, so from college, I passed the board exam, given in Manila, and still today, becoming a CPA in the Philippines is really difficult. During my time, I remember there was only 15% would have passed that exam. So, but because I came from UP, everyone passed 100%. So at that time, it's good.
Yeah.
The joke was you might be the first one to break that tradition of
Not
people
passing.
not passing. So the pressure is there. But yeah, so And then I started my career as an audit staff in the most prestigious accounting firm at that time, or maybe until now, SGV and Company.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
so I started there as an audit staff, and I worked there for 2 years. But then maybe there was something that happened that was a calling for me to go home to Pangasinan. At that time, my mom became paralyzed. No, my mom was he was paralyzed, and my dad told me that because that was the first term of my dad as a mayor, told me, Mike, can you help me because your mom is sick? If you want, you can help me here with our business, or with my political career. So it was a big decision because maybe if I stayed in SGB, who knows what would have happened.
Yeah.
But I went home to the Philippines, to Pangasinan, and maybe and helped my dad with his political career, and even to be with my mom. And it is something that I didn't regret. Maybe if that happened again, I will still do the same decision. I really gave up that, that I'm already there, but I gave up everything and went home to the province. And then because it's in politics, it's difficult to. I become the campaign manager of my dad. There's some business, but because how politics is in the Philippines is too sometimes too costly. You help your fellow townmate. You help them with whatever you can help them, and maybe that's why until now that I'm here, I'm I can talk to all kinds of people. It doesn't bother me if you're rich, you're poor. It's the same. You're the same to me because maybe of that upbringing that I went back to my roots in the field in Pangasinan, and I gave up being an accountant. And then when I was in Pangasinan, I had some businesses that I started, different businesses, and blending it with looking after my mom and also looking after my dad. You know, uh, so I went home 2000. That was 93, and I mean I got married there 1990, 97. And then when I had a young family, and then my dad already finished his term, so that's where I decided, oh, I don't want to be in politics. I think I would rather go elsewhere, and so I chose Melbourne.
Why
So that was
Australia?
that's a big step. The reason why I went to Australia or overseas is, you know, I want to prove myself to that I can make it on my own without the shadow of my dad or without using anyone's surname. Because when I came here, I started with nothing, barely nothing, nothing at all. It's funny, I don't even know how to cook. I really don't know what is, maybe hard-boiled eggs the only thing I know. I don't even know how to cook rice. But that's funny, but it is, it is what it is. But now I'm good at cooking. I can uh, we even own a restaurant now. You see how ironic. But so when I came here, we have a young family. My 2 girls are 3 years old and 2 years old at that time, and then my wife, she looks after our family, and I was the only one actually working. I really started with nothing. And this is what I want to emphasize. You have to invest in yourself. You have to really study. Don't You are only limited by the dreams that you limit it into. And then when I was working in the factory, I was working night shift. Yeah.
Mhm.
Night shift means night shift, like from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So that's night shift. And then in the morning, you haven't slept yet. You look after your kids, you bring them to school, and then maybe you sleep a little bit, and then you go to study because I was studying to become a CPA here while I am working night shift. So I barely slept. And when I was in the factory, I said to myself, this is not the long term. This is not the reason why I'm here. But you need to start somewhere. So so when for I think it was meant to happen. Every migrant started from below so that you will appreciate while you are going up the ladder. It is a humbling experience that everyone should experience so that when the Lord gives you success, you will be grounded.
Mhm. Good.
Because if you get high at once and you didn't really work hard for it, you might be boastful, you are not grounded, and then maybe it's not solid. It's not solid. So anything that you got slowly, slowly, but surely, it is solid on solid foundation. Maybe sometimes the Lord is working hard on you yet. Maybe working on your attitude, maybe it's working on how you perceive things
Yeah.
before He gives you the success. Because success is given to people when you are ready. And if it was given to you on a silver platter, and then you will just take it for granted. And it might get away from you easily, you know. So
Very profound. Yeah.
yeah, so I think
Yeah.
that's what's happening. And then so I started to pursue. I work at night. If you see me now, you didn't expect me to work as a process worker, but I did. And I'm not good at that. I know. I'm the slowest one. I got not good. But I persevered. I just do what happened, what you need to do. But I said to myself, okay, that's all right. Because I know I'll become an accountant later on. And then with prayers, of course, everything should be with prayers. I always devote. I'm a devotee of the divine mercy. Because we have a strong connection with the divine mercy because my parent, my grandma is one of the persons who brought divine mercy in the Philippines in 1981. So I am high on that regard. I always attribute things that happened to me from the divine mercy. So I even uh, okay. Yeah, you can see I have a scapular here, divine mercy. I always wear this ever since from 1981 until now. I have this with me
Yeah.
until now, and it helps. So sometimes you just as a migrant, you are on your own sometimes. You can't rely on your family who are in the Philippines. So you have to rely on your strong faith with the Lord. Of course, with hard work as well.
Yeah.
And then with that strong faith, it gives you the positivity that you need. And then it also makes you humble. And then so that what happened to me. I Eventually when I finished my CPA, I was able to enter uh, several accounting firms. So slowly I am transitioning from a process worker to becoming an accounting firm employee, accountant. Then slowly when I was there, this is one thing that I can say is education never stops. So when I'm there, I studied, I persevered until I become a tax agent, until I become an SMSF auditor, until I have my own CPA practice. So, but slowly, slowly, if you can see me now, you would think that I'm an overnight success, but no, this success is 20 years in the making, even 30 years in the making. So everything that happened to us, there's a reason. It is like a brick, small brick until you have a solid foundation. So you have to appreciate everything that happened to you, even though sometimes it is negative. I have a lot of failures before. I know. Maybe that's also what triggered me to come here. But failures are failures if you will not learn from it. Now failures are success or are just stumbling block to success. You have to have failure to succeed. I know because so don't be afraid of failures because failures are those things that will remove you from your comfort zone and put you to be uncomfortable, but it's only when you are out of your comfort zone that you grow, that you
Yeah.
become a better person, a better version of yourself. And you just have to allow that to happen. You have to allow that change to happen to you and continuously strive to reach your goal because you should have a goal. My goal at that time is to become a CPA. That's the first goal. When I become a CPA, oh, I want to have my own accounting firm. But the reason why I want to have an accounting firm is not really for me. I just want to have an accounting firm so our fellow Filipinos will have someone to go to if they want, for their tax. Because when I was looking at it, let's say you have an Australian tax agent. I'm not saying Australian are good. They're good. But you're a Filipino. Sometimes you cannot tell your accountant what you want to tell them. You know, they don't empathize with you because they're here. That's why what I did was I need to have an accounting firm for Filipinos. When I started my accounting firm, a lot of people was telling me, why go for Filipinos? They won't pay. Why just go for Aussie, they will pay. But I told myself, no, that's my niche market. In any business, you should have a niche market. And my
Mm.
niche market are the Filipinos. Okay, slowly, what did I do? I'm working as an accountant in a firm. I'm working there 9 to 5. But after 5 o'clock, I have my laptop. I have my printer, mobile
Mm.
printer. I'll go to my car. I'll go to my client. Like I'll go
Mm.
to their house 6 o'clock. I'll do their tax. And because they're Filipino, I have free dinner already.
Mm.
But I'm doing their tax, I'm eating. So good, free dinner.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
this
free
is
Christmas as well.
Yeah. Very nice.
ac- actually it's very inspiring. And sorry, I don't want to cut you your very spontaneous story, and I really love listening. Even me talking to you personally. Um, let's explore a little bit more on. Um, let's get some more details on
Yep.
what makes a successful accountant in Australia.
Um, I can say that I am not the best accountant, but I could sympathize
Sorry, we might need to
to
repeat that response of yours.
I hear
You're
you. I listen to you. I've practiced yeah, I started with 20 and then 40 clients. Now it's 4,000 clients. Why? Because I empathize with them. I really talk
Mm,
to my client, not just, I treat them not just numbers, but as friends. As I remove the barrier between the accountant and the client. Because sometimes if you go to an accountant, they seem to be aloof. There's a wall, there's a glass between you. But I removed that. Maybe because of my upbringing as a politician.
mm,
So everything is the same. I'm not your typical bureaucratic businessman, maybe, corporate person. I'm a blend of that. I am a corporate person, but I'm more on entrepreneurial and I'm more of a politician. So, and I empathize with my clients. Maybe that's the reason why. Because if you know the client, you know how, and you understand their problem, you know how to solve their problem. Now you will solve their problem by using all these tax laws, all these tax strategies. But you have to first listen to your client, and then address what they need depending on what is available, on hand. So there are lots of tax strategies that you can use for business or as an employee or as a businessman. So, but first, you should have the trust of the client because he
yep.
will tell you he will be honest with you. What is the real score? What does he want to really need? What does he need? And then when you break that barrier and then you listen to him, then you can address what he needs. And then sometimes it's just a simple thing that he needs, but you can address it because you are. you are just you actually understand him more. I mean, you understand him what the communication is perfect. You know. Um,
Now,
so
what would you advise to our listeners right now? Migrant Tribe actually has growing number of listeners. So, in terms in finance, what can you at least give us a few bullet points on? Even right now, it's pandemic. So, what are the things that you can, I mean, just throw out there? What they can do? Everyone is struggling, or there somewhere there people are actually in limbo in terms in finances.
so in finance, yes. First, you have to limit your loans. You know, but there are two kinds of loan: good loan, bad loan. Good loan is when you get the loan, but you use it for something that goes up in value. That's good loan. Bad loan is you get a loan, but you use it for something that goes down in value. So that's the first thing that you need to address, look at. Of course, we need to get loan somehow.
Mhm.
Um, so what is bad loan? Bad loan is you borrow, but you buy, let's say, car. You buy a luxury car.
Mm.
That's a bad loan. But
Mhm.
you can actually use it too, because if you need some deductions as a business entrepreneur and you have some income, then you can, if you buy a luxury car, you can use the the, the cost of the car.
That expense.
But
Yes.
you have
Mhm.
to weigh it. You know, do you really need it? Maybe you just need a car, not a luxury car, and then the amount you save, you use it for other stuff. That's so a bad loan can also be a good loan, um, but car is normally a bad loan if it's especially if it is excessive, especially if it is outside your budget. But of course, some people they can afford it. It is okay, you know. But so that's one. Number two, um, good loan is if you invest in property or maybe in shares. You know, you borrow money, but you invest it into something that goes up in value. So we know that a brick and mortar real estate will never go down. It might not go up at once,
I
but it
appreciate.
will never go down. It's always a long term. So when you do investment, always look at the long term. Don't look at the short term. Always long term. Thirdly, whatever your profession is, invest in yourself. You know, invest in higher education. If you are a nurse, study masters in nursing. Maybe if you're an engineer, get a master's in engineering or whatever that is. If you're an accountant, do CPA. So invest in yourself because they can't take it away from you. Wherever you will go, education will be with you. And Filipinos, we are skilled. We're highly skilled. That's why we are here. We went to Australia without any investment, only ourselves. So continue your growth. You continue invest in yourself because as a tax agent, if it is related to your course, it is tax deductible, you know. So still you get something out of it. But and that is one thing that the pandemic has given us, the gift of time. The time to invest in yourself, which otherwise you won't have the time because you are too busy in this material world. But then with the pandemic, it equalizes everything and you just have to find out how can you make the most out of it and how do you invest in your time? Twofold. Uh, get courses that is related to your job, so it's tax deductible, or invest in your soft skills by listening to self-help book. All these, there are a lot of things there, there are a lot of books
Mhm.
and audiobooks, while you're waiting for your doctor in the clinic, you can just listen to your audiobook. If you're driving, instead of listening to news, which gives us all bad news, just turn it off and change it into an audiobook. And then you already maximize your time and you get garbage
Yes.
in, garbage out. Whatever it gets in, it gets out is good. It transforms you without you even knowing it. So I
Yes.
think that's what you can do during this pandemic.
Yes, definitely can relate to what you're saying about trying to improve yourself and trying to make better the situation that we have right now. So thank you, Michael, for all these wonderful nuggets that you have shared with us. Yep.
Now let's
So
just lay some fast few foundation, sorry, questions with our migrants. A lot of people actually have a lot of questions about you. Who's Michael? Who's really Michael? So let's do some fire round questions. Very short question. I mean responses, please.
okay.
Okay. So who is your first tribe in Australia?
Sorry, first,
Who is your first tribe in Australia? Tribe.
tribe.
Yeah.
Uh, give, uh,
Friends.
friends, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Friends, yeah, friends or clients, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Will you retire in Australia?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Will you start all over again if you know everything you know now?
Yes.
Who do you miss the most?
My God,
What's the most important advice to migrants, new migrants?
to uh, to persevere, to be hardworking, and to always pray. And yeah, I've seen a lot of success story, but everyone started where you started. So yeah, um,
Thank you
that's it.
for being a sport.
So, Joseph,
Okay. Uh, yeah. Well, thank you again, Michael, for everything. And yeah. So I hope everyone was able to learn something from our episode today. Our finances, handling our money. So watch out again for next week as we come up with a new episode. And please continue to like and subscribe to our channel. Bye.
Thank you,
Same
bye.
here.
Mike. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay na ba?
Thank you.